What up, everybody? Charlie B back in the building. You know how we do. I should have been on early, but allegedly after Tim one got his perm, I had to go get my hair cut. I couldn't. He couldn't be up there all glowing in the wind like Meg. And I'm sitting up here looking like Willie Mammoth. Can't do it. Now, we gonna get into the show today. It's basically extension from yesterday, but we gonna do it a little different. Not different from yesterday, but it's different from what I normally do. But I had to give y'all a little jokey right there. But yeah, let's get into some more of this narcissism, because this brother's tripping, and I'm gonna break it down with his show he did. Since he didn't come on today, I'm gonna use the show from yesterday. And when I break this down, and then I'm gonna let this sister talk. And when she breaks this down to you, I'm gonna come in every now and then like I normally do. Like boom, bam, boom. But other than that, just listen, please. Please listen. Okay? Let's get what's going, man.
Just saw weapons assassination.
Charlie B, why you playing us a turtle? I'm not playing you nothing. I want you to listen. You hear what the little boy said? Just whack him upside the head. Now, number one, those are nature, just natural animals that live on your farm. You're teaching your kids to just beat them and stuff like that? That's not right. That's something inside of you from the past, bro, that you want to take aggression out on something else. You don't treat animals like that.
All berry bushes. Somebody was asking in the comments, do we have any berries or fruit trees, anything like that on the property? We have a whole line of blackberries, or some people call them dewberries, along this line. And then we have 2 or 3 persimmon trees right there. Those trees right there, 1, 2, and then every year they produce another one. And so, like I say, every year they reseed themselves. So eventually we need to start digging them up and then planting them somewhere else, because they probably gonna crowd each other out. But
you know what? This is what's funny to me. This brother really wants you to believe that he has fruit and fruit trees out there. That's a form of manipulation. You have 5 acres, and those berries, they've been there probably before you were born, bro. It's just growing naturally. It's growing naturally. Y'all didn't plant that, allegedly. So y'all actually don't have any fruit or anything. So with his form of trying to manipulate y'all to try to make y'all think subconsciously, because he really thinks when he talks, y'all hear him, but he's not allegedly like really, how can I put this, saying something that y'all gonna pay attention to. And this is why I know what I'm saying, allegedly. Them fruit trees over there that he said he got, them what? No, the dewberries was, okay, never mind. Okay, those fruit trees, right? Tim, you done had that property for how long? And you only have 3 of those trees, but they produce every year, and eventually you'll have to move them. So why is there only 3 if they produce every year and you ain't never moved none, allegedly? Because you just lied to everybody. I mean, I'm not saying you lied to everybody about the trees doing what they do, but my whole point is, where's the rest of them? It's a form of manipulation, y'all. When you step back and look at it, how he talks, a subscriber came in, somebody came in and said, do y'all have anything, blah, blah, blah. And that's what he showed y'all on 5 acres, and he has a farm.
I just don't know how happy it makes me to be able to weed eat and get my property looking nice.
I'm not even gonna ask y'all on this one to come in the comments and tell me, oh, Charlie B, you pushing it. I don't think so on this one. I don't. Because what I'm about to say, you're gonna be like, that does make sense. Okay, what did he just say? To get my property looking nice, my property looking nice. Not to get the homestead looking nice. Not to get the farm looking nice. Not to get our stuff looking nice. No. His property. Now, he wouldn't own nothing without help from a whole lot of people. But nobody gets no credit but him. What is that? He's not, how can I put this? If you remember the show back, let's jump back. We did a show And then he had to basically come on and say, yeah, Megan and the boys and grandma helped me with the bomb, but I still did most of it. He had to still give him credit, but he still had to take more credit for it. Remember that? Y'all remember that? So, why wasn't it our property? What happened to all this legacy you said you was building, Tim and the boys and their kids and everybody gonna be able to do this, not do this and do that? But when it really comes down to it, it's all about you, right? So, now we going here real quick. We gonna throw Grandma Lily in the bunch, right? He's about to explain to you how happy he is because it didn't take long to cut that, and how long it would have took to cut that with putt-putt, that little strip of grass, right? Okay. And he's gonna brag about it. But what, I don't know if y'all caught, what he's explaining to you is what Grandma Lily has to do out there on that Resurrection Ranch. Because she now has putt-putt, right? So, jumping back, why can't you just go cut your mama's grass, man?
With my old lawnmower, I literally would have had to go over it 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times. And then if the grass is too tall, I would have had to tread back over it, go over it twice. So that's like 8 passes, you add that up. And then.
Now, we all seen that little strip of grass, right? It wasn't that much, right? But you see how he chuckles about it and things like that. Yeah, it's a blessing. No, what would be a blessing is if you would get off your butt and go cut your mama's grass. That'd be a blessing right there. Now, why won't he do it allegedly? Because being a narcissist, it makes him feel good. It makes him feel good to see struggle. He doesn't want anybody happy but him. But you know the funny thing, Tim? Being a narcissist, you'll never be happy. I don't care how many toys you get. I don't care how much Megan makes your coffee. I don't care allegedly how much you have the boys working out there. You will never be happy. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how he got all this stuff, still not happy. His wife does everything he asks of her, still not happy. Why not? Have y'all thought about that one? Why not? What does he have to be upset about? I don't know. So, let's jump off into it and give a better breakdown and basically use God's words and break this narcissism down that's going on out there allegedly on that farm. Let's get it, man.
Yes, God will leave them to themselves. He will let them wreck relationships. He'll let them burn bridges. He will do whatever he's got to do to bring them to rock bottom.
Has Tim allegedly done any of that? Y'all come in here and tell me, has he wrecked any relationships? Does he have any friends come out there that you see on the farm? Does he have anybody other than Miss Lily, them boys, and Megan? And allegedly, he's wrecking the relationship with his mom because she's not happy. She's clearly said it. So, is this your man's? Is this your man's?
Romans 1:24 reminds us of what God did to those who didn't want to follow him and instead follow after their own sinful, selfish desires. Here's what it says. Therefore, God gave them over in their sinful desires of their hearts to sexual impurity for the degrading of their bodies with one another. Now, this may seem like God has forgotten what they've done to you, but hang with me, friend, because he actually has a plan. This is also the part where you have to recognize whether your actions towards them are truly loving or entirely enabling.
Now, I know Grandma Lily loves her son, but she's still an enabler, and you could tell in just how the videos go, allegedly. And I just want y'all to come in and tell me, is Megan an enabler? Tim doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have to do nothing. And then she worships him. Yeah, Tim. Tim never does you like that. He never, Meg. Nope. Let's go, man.
You see, Romans 1:24 said God handed them over. In other words, he didn't try to change them. He didn't stop them. He didn't just love on them. He let them be to themselves. And that's why it isn't always the most loving thing to do to tolerate toxic behavior.
Okay. She said toxic, right? Now, we're going to get into that on another show because it's like on a spectrum, okay? It's not just you're a narcissist, okay? There's different types. So we'll get into the toxic. That's a whole nother show. We'll get into that later on. Let's proceed.
But when those lights come on, it shines a spotlight on what's really going on behind the darkness. I'll leave it at that. And that's what happens when God steps in and says, okay, you don't want to repent? You don't want to accept my chance at a new life? Now it's time to shine the light and expose the truth. Yes, God will expose them. Maybe not in the way that you would hope, but God brings the narcissist's true nature and actions to light. Through various circumstances, the hidden behaviors and the manipulations of a narcissist are revealed, ensuring that their deceit and wrongdoing are no longer hidden in the dark. Luke 12:2 reminds us that there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs.
So now basically, by the book, Peanut Game and Charlie B is right because all we're doing is shouting the truth from the rooftops. And he don't like it, okay? Yes or no? Yes or no? And as a man of God, he's coming on, allegedly, he's coming on here calling us names, calling, man, it's bad. But that's not how God is supposed to handle things, Tim. You're not supposed to handle things. And as a man of God, you're supposed to just let it go and let it be handled and do your sermons and do what you've been doing. But no, you got to get upset. What is that telling y'all? What is that telling y'all? It's not looking good for you, bro.
Rest assured, my friend, God will not be mocked. The narcissist will start reaping what they've sown.
Okay, look at it like this, allegedly. That man thought that podcast was going to blow through the roof. Allegedly, somebody named Charlie B started just bringing the light. And then allegedly, Peanut Gang and Charlie B started doing our thing. Truth was exposed. And he took that podcast down for the next week, right? Now, did he take it down because he wasn't getting enough revenue? I don't think that's it. Because he's making bread, y'all. But did he take it down because maybe God's coming to the brother? Like, you need to rethink this. You need to rethink this. You ain't telling the truth, allegedly. You lying to the people. And you need to take a week to sit yourself down and figure this out, brother. I don't know if that happened or not. Because as she says, God's not the type of person, not the type of, well, I don't like to do that, but God's not the type that's going to just crucify you. Like she said, he's going to give you time. He's going to give you time. He's going to give you time. But like Tim said, we don't deal with time and seasons like y'all do. Tim, I hope you didn't talk to God, know how much time you got to play this game, allegedly.
But remember, God's purpose is still going to be for restoration. He will reveal their motives and behaviors so they come to themselves and stop further deception.
Now, right now, I don't think Tim, don't get me wrong, is coming to itself. No, I think Tim right now is mad, okay? So, with that being known, if you look at it, is he being a narcissist? Yes or no? Everything he's done, allegedly to his mom, everything he's done or says he does and don't do, like working on the farm, we got to do this, we got to do that, and he doesn't pick up one piece of hay to throw over the thing. Like, with all that being said, and we're gonna get into ghosting later on, but basically, for his subscribers that did love him, being a narcissist, he just said forget the podcast. The ones that was really rocking with the podcast, he said forget it. Now, he took his own feelings into consideration and didn't care if there was 5,000-6,000 of y'all watching every day that really was rocking with him. He don't care. That's 5,000-6,000 people, allegedly, whose feelings can just go down the drain because I'm not feeling it right now. Allegedly. Right? What is that? Narcissism. Allegedly. I don't care who I hurt. I'm dropping this podcast right now because this other brother on me. Allegedly. Right? And it ain't blowing through the roof the way I want to. What does that mean, allegedly? My income ain't right off of here what I want it to be. Allegedly. So, with all that being said, with the way he treats everybody, with the way he cuts people off, with the way, if you don't listen to me, I can't be around you. Like he already said, if I could change, you could change. But what allegedly he really meant, you better change to what I believe in, or you can't be around me. And allegedly, you know what it is? Because being a narcissist, he don't want nobody to tell him anything. That's why he doesn't go to church. He can't have a pastor over him telling him anything about, well, Brother Tim, you need to be doing this. Can't, allegedly. Because he doesn't have any power anymore. That's taking away my power if I have to listen to somebody else. He's not going to listen to nobody. Because allegedly right now, he's not even listening to God. Charlie B about to get out of here. Y'all be easy. I love y'all. I hope this helped. Hope I did y'all some justice. Y'all be easy. I love y'all. See y'all in a minute.